All right. Jason here with you, and I am so excited about something. You know what I'm excited about? It's Cthulhu Death May Die. It's kind of season 3. We know that Eric Lang's not part of it. Rob Davio is, and someone else. Someone McDonald, I think. Okay. This is Friday, October 7th, 2022, to give you a little bit of a frame. And so what I'm going to do today is not give you any news about it, because we know as much as we know. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Cthulhu Death May Die. So this is just a rant. It's just a talk. It's a walk and talk with you and me. So if you love this game, or if you're thinking about getting this game, either way, this hopefully will help you. Okay, so I got Cthulhu, a little history lesson for you. I got Cthulhu Death May Die, let's say, right as the pandemic started, right before, in fact. And I've been watching it on Amazon for a long time because I'm interested in Cthulhu stuff, right? And I had seen this bad boy right there, right? I had seen this box on Amazon for quite a long time, and I was like, always interested in it. And then I remember looking for it a couple times, and it was gone, not available, sold out for a little while. And then it was also, I don't know, like 80 or 90 or 75 bucks. I mean, it was expensive. I was like, ugh, right? So one day I finally got it, and we got it right before the pandemic started. And what I did was kind of crazy. I just decided to paint it before I even learned how to play it. Now, back then, this seems like a long time ago because I've been getting into games again so much now. Reading a rule book was really difficult for me. So I was like, ugh, right? And so me and my son, Riley, read it and played it. So we just did it. And during the pandemic. Yeah, it was okay. Right? But I painted it, right? And then I started painting more because I needed something to do. And I didn't have all these games that you can't see them that are all around. And what happened was, we decided to play it again. And then my wife played. And then we had this game over Christmas, which leads me to believe that maybe this was right before the pandemic, somewhere in there. And it was me and my son, Riley, and my wife, Jenny. And we played, and we had one of these epic games where we got to the very end, and it was like you roll and hit and live, or you miss and die. And we won, and we literally jumped up at the table. We were over at the kitchen counter right over there. And I remember high-fiving each other, and we were like, holy. And then we just started playing, and my son moved out, and he went, and he's got a job and doing all his own life. He's doing great, but Jenny and I kept playing. And so we ended up really liking it, so that we went and got an extra elder, and then another one. And we just picked up these on Amazon. And then I saw this, and I was like, what the hell? Season 2, right? So, now I thought this was just something I liked, because I shared this, and even my son, who had that great time, he doesn't come up and ask to play it. And we shared it with some of my friends. We've gotten, game days here, played through it, and they're like, I mean, nobody, like I led people through Dwellings of Eldervale once, and they were like, oh, I got to get this, or Ark Nova, or I got to get this, or right over there, Great Wall, oh my gosh, I got to get this, There's just games that you just go, wow. I remember Dune and Imperium, first time we played it, everyone's like, whoa, we got to get this. Not Cthulhu Death May Die. No, wasn't it? So, I didn't know how popular it was. And then I started, back in the Marvel, CMON's 50th anniversary thing, I started to joke, what do you want to see? I put, Cthulhu Death May Die Season 3, thinking, there's never going to be one. Like, it just doesn't even occur to my head. And then I see a lot of other people doing it, and they're saying the same thing. And then they announced the next one, 51st one, which turned out to be Dune, or for Arrakis. And on the chat there, a lot of people were saying, and I remember the lady, I don't remember her name, but I think you guys know who she is, because if you just watched the video with me, and she was like, we see a lot of your recommendations, we see a lot of them that you're guessing, and we want you to know that this game we're doing, I'm paraphrasing because she said it much differently, is not what you're thinking, but we have been paying attention. And when she said that, I thought, whoa, maybe there will be Cthulhu Death May Die 3, Season 3. Anyways, it happened, you know it, so I'm excited. And guess what? So many more other people are just, woo, losing their their minds over it. And so I've been talking with some friends online, I've been talking to people, and like it's way bigger than I thought it was. Way bigger than I thought it was. So if you're one of those people who are like, okay, should I get involved? And right now we don't know. Some people have heard that it's standalone. Some people have played it, so they probably have more information. I got a few pictures from Essen Spiel in Germany. I don't know if my German accent was very good. Hopefully that wasn't offensive to anybody. So some people might know more than I do. I'm guessing, by the way, that because everyone says very soon, very, very soon, we're taking advantage of October. So I'll tell you when. It's starting Tuesday. Kickstarter will start Tuesday. Mark it. Jason called it Tuesday. Okay, so here is the instruction book. And so we'll just chit chat about this game. And it's really great. Like, I've never had a problem. I've never had a question. This book works, and I know the games. Now I'll tell you a piece of the game. Okay, so let's go over the game a little, in case you've never played the game. So it's kind of like a dungeon crawler. What does that mean? Well, it has maps, and they come in tiles. So they do all these fun tiles, and it has scenarios. So it's a scenario-based game, and the book has all the scenarios in the back. No, there's a different way they do that. Sorry, I'll remember that in a second. They have these little cardboard boxes. I'll show them to you in a second. And they do these scenarios out and about, and then you set it up, and they put the bad guys on them, and they give you the goal, and then you play through it. Play through it, and you succeed or fail. That's it. And then they have another one, and another one, and another one, and you go through them. And season 2 over here had 6 new ones. So that's what we're really kind of hoping for. That's all I've been hoping for from this whole new game is this new Kickstarter. It was just season 3, just another little box and so forth. I think it's going to have more than that. I think it's going to be a little different. The standalone idea makes me think it's a new base game with 6 new, I don't know, we'll find out. But let me tell you. So you got these tiles, and then you move your miniatures around, and you go through, and you kill the bad guys, and then eventually you try to solve the puzzle, whichever it may be, and it's different for every single one. It's really cool, and some of them are really neat. All of them are really great. I think they just show a lot of creativity. And then eventually the whole game is built around, Cthulhu there is going to show up. And why they call this game Cthulhu Death May Die was, if you're not familiar with the Cthulhu universe, the 99% of the games out there are do not let Cthulhu get here. Do not let any of the elder gods get here. You get here, you lost the game. Throw it up, rage quit, throw the table, whole thing, right? But that, my friends, is not this game. This game is he's coming, and then you gotta kill him. Death may die. You kill him. You kill him. And so that's how the game works. You're a little character, you're investigators, you go through the maze and of all these tiles. They'll tell you how to lay them all out into these wonderful patterns. And then you fight, you solve the puzzles. There's all these little weird puzzles. I'm shortening this. And then you fight the bad guy when he gets there. Now, the way the game is built, and then the scenario is over, and you don't carry over to the next one. You just start again. And there's tons of investigators to choose from, right? Tons of them. And more came with this new one, and I'm sure there'll be new ones in the new one, in the new version. So nothing carries over. So you could feasibly play it again with different characters. Now here's something else they did. Included in this main box are 2 elder gods. Here it is, Hastur, and of course, the eponymous Cthulhu, right? And these are miniatures with some rules in them. And then here are the 6, so season 1, episode 1 through 6, right? There we go. So here are the 6 scenarios. So the way they've designed this game is pretty cool. Is that you take the story, which has the layout, and then you combine it with the god. And that creates a unique blend of the scenario with the god. So if you play it with Hastur, it will be very different than if you play it with Cthulhu. Right? So that lends to the replayability. And then they had some extras that you could get on Amazon. Yog Sothy. Okay? So if you play any of these with this, you get another totally different feel. Totally different feel. And then Black Goat of the Woods. Now I don't know. I did not Kickstarter it. I just told you I got it on Amazon. So there might be a 5th one out there. I've looked. I don't know that there is. Maybe there is, and I don't have it. These are the ones that they did take to retail. From what I understand, and I did pick up a little piece, there is a new guy named Yig from the new season. So there will be a 5th one of these, which means he'll be totally different, and then we can combine them back with these scenarios again and create a new mix of a story. Now, Jenny and I didn't like do every scenario with all 4 gods. We played every scenario with at least one god, sometimes repeated them with different gods. But we went through all of these, and another thing we did is we painted everybody. Some of them we painted better than others. Here's some monsters. Yeah, I'm not going to get over there close to the camera because it's too far away. I can't reach it. And so you go through, and then here's how the game works. And this is pretty cool. You take an investigator, you're going through like this dungeon, this land area with these cool tiles, solving a problem that is in the scenario, like Blasphemous Alchemy, season 1, episode 1, and then you meet the god who's causing problems, and then you get him to summon, you bring him in, and instead of losing at that point, you kill him. And that's the big boss battle, is what they call it. If you're familiar with gaming, you know what a boss battle is. It's the big bad guy at the end. If you're not familiar, then that's how they do it. They do a big boss battle, and as I said before, Cthulhu may die. Death may die. Cthulhu may die. But here's a couple cool mechanics. Your character, all the character sheets got put over here, I think. Oh, and here's a whole bunch of extras. Okay, so your character sheets, there's just a ton of investigators to choose from. They have all of these abilities, and each one has a unique set of abilities. So that makes them really cool. One sheet does it. It's pretty simple. I'll pull one out. Okay, so the one on the top is the kid. So we use the kid a lot, okay? So she's this unknown kid, and I painted her. She's somewhere in there, right? And everyone has 3 powers. 3 powers. 2 of them are normal, meaning they're from a pool that everybody kind of can share. And 1 is always unique to the kid, to the character, in this case, the kid. So the kid has 2 powerful ones. And I found which characters to take and which characters not to take. So I'm pretty min-maxed. I mean, I found which ones are effective and which ones aren't. And the kid is usually pretty effective. Why is she effective? Because she has marksman, which allows her to attack a target space away. So she has some range. That's very, very helpful. 2, she has arcane mastery. You gotta take your characters with arcane mastery. I see people try to take characters without arcane mastery. It's just, I don't know what you're thinking. I know, you're trying to have fun, but arcane mastery is it. And that means when you roll your dice, one of the 6 sides on the dice has that symbol. And if you take that special ability, that symbol is a hit instead of just a nothing. Okay? Now, here's what happens. As the game progresses, you lose sanity, which is the entire idea behind Cthulhu, right? The more you delve into the darkness, the more you lose your mind. And this mechanic is brilliant. I mean, it is brilliant. The more you lose your mind, the more powerful you get temporarily, right? If you can see this, you start over here, and then boom, 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 boom. And if you get to the end, you've lost it. You go so insane, you off yourself, you die, you have a heart attack, you run screaming into the hills, you're done. But you gotta balance it. The more insane you get, the more powerful you get. And each one of these are levels, and each time you hit a level, you can increase your gate manipulation, marksman, or arcane mastery. It gets more powerful as it goes. And look at the last 2. There's 2 levels at the very end. You gain even more power and even more power. Not only do you gain more power of your special abilities, you gain more dice when you attack. So at the end, you start with a couple dice. At the end, you're chucking a handful of dice and you're on the verge of madness. And if you go one more madness, boom, you're dead and it's over and you've lost. It's a great game. It's so well balanced. It's so fun. It just works. It's tense and you usually win. I mean, if you get the right characters. You know what I mean? Okay, and then see here, season 2, and it has 6 also new boxes. And each box has a layout for the map, some tokens, quests, all sorts of things in there, and items. So as you explore, you pick up items. Now, so let's go through a few more things, and if some of you have been playing this game, you know what I talk about. If some of you haven't, obviously I'm selling it. I'm just selling it. You know, how much Simon? Where's the check from Simon, right? I better get a percentage from this. I'm not getting paid from Simon. The game just sells itself. It's just fun. So you level up your skills. You lose sanity on purpose. You do things to lose sanity, include sanity rolls, and it's pretty cool. Then there's the movement rules for how you move through the discovery. Now, there's something called discovery cards, and this is one of the weak parts of the game that I do not like. And I understand kind of why they do it, but when you find stuff, if you search, you can find cool stuff. It's all about finding loot, right? And it's always about finding cool stuff. If you don't know that, and you've never played board games where you find cool stuff, then you're gonna love finding cool stuff. Kind of goes back to the old days of Dungeons and Dragons, right? You get your +1 sword, your ring of protection, your cloak of elvenkind, right? It's so exciting. You get the magic items, you get the treasure, the loot, you find the cool stuff. It's like when the Bilbo, if you know what I'm found, Sting, right? They found that little troll treasure, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Say hi to Ragpa. She came and visited, and she's out the culprit up here. She gets on my red thing, and I have to get a roller and clean it off before you guys come and visit. Okay, the discovery cards give you a choice, like one or the other. So you find them and you have to choose one or the other. And they're not as cool as I wish they were. They're not as cool and powerful as I wish they were. Discovery cards, and plus there's some rules that if you aren't alone, you can't search and discover. And there's a lot of moving random event cards that you pull where bad stuff happens to you, and a lot of it is the bad guys move in. So if they move in, you don't get to discover, which really sucks. And I know a lot of this game is built on this sucks, and you're barely going to win. You're going to lose sanity, you're going to lose items, you're going to lose life, and then you barely win. But I've had games where I've been sitting there with, Jenny's got four discovery items and cool things that she's done with them, and I've got none. And you can get stuck in a place, and that's not fun. So I wish the discover cards were a little bit easier, and I don't like the choice because my brain is too logical. Like if I find a thing, I find a thing. Why would I find a thing, or it's a sword or it's a spyglass? Well, which is it? But why they put it in there is because they want you to make choices. Choices makes a good board game. Choice. And one of them has a good benefit, one of them has a little different benefit, and you got to make the right choice. So I see why they did it, because it adds to the choice. There's Mythos cards. So at the end of everybody's turn, you pull the Mythos cards and bad stuff happens. That's the way they design these Cthulhu games. Bad stuff happens. Then you deal with it. And then the next player goes. He does his stuff. She does her stuff. They do their stuff, flip the Mythos card, bad stuff happens. And the kid just gets so tense. You're like, oh, and every once in a while something not so bad happens. You're like, yes, we made it through. And there's each god has a set of Mythos cards, and each scenario has a set of bad things that happen. So that's how these are always different. If you had this one with this god, Black Goat in the Woods, which I think is like the yellow god, right? That's a Hastur. Then you get a totally different feel in game. Okay, you got the enemies, how to kill them. I'm not going to go into that, but I am going to tell you one more thing that I don't like. And where is it? I'm not telling you how to play. I'm going to tell you how to play, but I'm not going to tell you. Okay, turn sequence, how combat works, investigations. I'm missing something here. How the end works. Fire sucks. Fire's out if you get you on fire. Okay, I don't know where it went, but I know what it is. It's insanity cards. So what they do is they give everyone a starting insanity card that just makes it like you're already just about to lose your mind. You're just on the edge. Oh, you're losing it. And hey, sometimes it's not fun. The insanity cards are some of the parts where you just get crippled by a bad insanity, and it just takes the fun away. So that's one of the areas I'm not super fond of all the time. But other than that, great tokens, great quality, just fun. And the way it builds, and the way you start weak, you roll 1 dice, and then you roll 2, and then you roll 3, and then in the end you're just rolling a handful, and you win, and you're counting it up, and you think there's no way you're going to beat Cthulhu. There's just no way. And they do these stages. It's the most difficult thing. This is just so frustratingly cool. So you've got to kill them in, I think, 4 different stages. If I'm right, it's 4 different stage cards. Yeah. So you kill them once, right? And you think, I killed him. And then boom, he teleports to another part in the dungeon. You're like, oh my gosh, so you got to go hunt him down again and kill him again. And then boom, he hunts to another part and you kill him 4 times, 3 or 4 times. It might just be 3. And by the 3rd time, you're like, I cannot do this again. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. And that is the way the game is designed cinematically. And if you know me, because I talk a lot about Nemesis, right? One of my other favorite games is because it's cinematic. This game is cinematic. By the end, you're pulling your hair out. I don't have a lot of hair because my hair's short right now. Going, we're not going to make it. You know, the guy from Aliens is like, we're all going to die, man. We're all going to die. Yeah, you're all going to die. And then you pull it out. Woo! So I highly recommend this game. Now, I don't know what the Kickstarter's doing, so I don't know if you could even go pick it up right now. Soon we'll know. I'll do a video. And but if you're thinking about getting this game, I highly recommend it. The miniatures are awesome. I had a blast painting them with my wife. We just loved it. We painted the season 2. We played through all of those. And heck, we are thinking of just pulling it out and playing it tomorrow and hoping the Kickstarter starts October, whatever it is, Tuesday, which if today is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 11th or 12th is my guess. Okay, everybody, what do you think about Cthulhu Death May Die? Are you sitting here going, I just listened to Jason talk about the worst game I've ever played in my life for the last 20 minutes? Or are you going, I'm with you, Jace, I'm in, I hope they don't, this new version isn't too different or too weird. We do know that the creator of the game, the main creator, Eric Lang, has taken a new job as an activist. He's quit gaming and now all he does is tweet. He just tweets stuff on Twitter about how terrible the world is. And I don't know how he thinks that's going to help people. It seems a little weird, but I actually tweeted with him a couple times or messaged him, and he has said he's done with these big box games and he's going to go for more family-friendly games. But so far, nothing has come out from him with his name on it that I know of. And so that's disappointing to me because he did Blood Rage, he did this game, he's done a lot of great games, and so he was a driving force of creating some great games with CMON. He's gone now, but Davio's still with them, and I think the guy's Peter McDonald or Paul McDonald, and I could be totally wrong. So I apologize if I am. Cthulhu, Death May Die. Check it out. I predict you're gonna like it.